She's a board game hustler, pineapple smuggler, and midnight juggler. It's the Maggie Ramble Show with your host, award-winning actress, Maggie Ginny. Sit back, relax, and be a part of the conversation as Maggie rambles with your favorite Christian actors, filmmakers, and entertainers. Who is today's special guest? Stay tuned to find out. And now, here's Maggie.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Maggie Rambles with Other People, where I find really cool people making creative and fantastic things, and I invite them to come sit on their computer and talk to me over the internet. So today we have a fantastic, incredible guest. I do want to remind you guys that we are live, so if you have comments, questions, or even a concern, feel free to drop that. And guys, without further ado, because I got to get right into it, I have the most incredible guest today. Kyle Roberts has worked with DreamWorks, Nickelodeon, Hasbro, Mattel, Lego, National Geographic. Please welcome my awesome guest, Kyle.
What's happening?
Hi. So before we get started, I have to just point out the fact that because we have a new season and new colors, it's different logos, and which one of us matches better? It's not me, guys. It is not me. Kyle's like, oh, I can match that. Now he looks like he belongs here, and the logo that came off the street. It's awesome.
We also got Princess Poppy here that kind of matches.
That's brilliant. Of course, you have Princess Poppy. Okay, so before we get started and you open the door with Princess Poppy, you are unashamed about bragging about your family on social media. So yeah. I wanted to ask you about your girls. You have all girls. What's it like being a girl dad?
Girl dad is super fun. I have a 4-year-old and a 9-year-old, and we just have fun all the time. And part of my job is playing with toys. Right. So doing that and then doing that with them and getting feedback from them and playing with them, all the time is super fun.
Yeah. You basically get to, be a big kid all the time because it's part of your job.
Exactly.
In work and in personal life. That's fantastic. Yep. Yeah. So you also last year you worked on a show called Nerf House Showdown. And so obviously it's Nerf, guys. Like there's a lot of that. But before do your kids do Nerf? Are they?
Yeah, a little bit. They're more into the super soakers.
Really?
And so we have like 8 now from that show. So they're just, super soaker wars all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. See, the thing with the super soakers is I never felt like there was enough water. Like you had to constantly refill. I'm like, there needs to be like a backpack you can wear that just is constant. So that
they should build that, huh?
They should, because really, let's be real, you're never a bigger target than when you have to refill your gun. And then you're like, that's it, it's over. Oh, excuse me, your blaster.
Blaster. There you go.
Blaster. I remembered. See, I remembered. But yeah, so Nerf House Showdown, that was last year in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. What did that look like for you to actually create?
Yeah, so they were talking to several studios all over the world. E1 Entertainment One was the biggest production arm of that. They're Hasbro's biggest production arm. They're actually headquartered in the UK. So they talked to several studios, and they went with us because we pitched the idea of the Nerf house being this lake house in Oklahoma, and they loved the lake house idea, and so they went with our team to produce the show, a 35-episode reality show.
How long did it take to shoot?
Yeah, we shot it in 2 different sections in the summer. One was in June and one was in August. We had 2 separate 2-week sessions. So it was, I guess, about a month total.
Yeah. So, and of course, it's Oklahoma in August. So
right.
Surely there was a lot of actual water play going on because that sounds brutal.
Yeah, there was. Of course, we're on the lake. We took over this mansion in Green Lake, which is just east of Tulsa. And nerfed it up with all kinds of things.
Nerfed it up. That's a verb, guys.
They sent us like 300 blasters. And so there's like blaster walls all over the place. And it's a challenge-based show. So it was kind of like Dude Perfect meets like Big Brother in a weird way because they are living together and everything. Right. But it's not really about the drama. which was fun for us, of course.
Sure.
But just more about the challenges and weird, fun stuff. Like they're on jet skis with Nerf blasters, and, aiming at targets and stuff.
So did you attempt any of these challenges yourself?
We did. So we kind of had to, like, we could only do so much around the OKC metro area when our team actually developed all the challenges and sent them all to them, and also losers' fates, because each episode had like a loser's fate of what they had to do, kind of thing. But it was only so much we could do without being on the lake, right? So like we would go out with our main producers and a couple of our kind of art team, what we call them. And just go through all the challenges the day before and really kind of test them out and make sure they all work.
Yeah, that's important. I think safe too, but you had some pretty talented people on this show.
Yeah, we had I think we had around 2,000 submissions all over the United States. Early 20-somethings, playing high school kids like you do. And they were awesome. We kind of got some of the best like trick shot, young people to compete on the show, and going through their auditions was crazy. You had people doing, like, one guy was a parkour guy and like doing crazy jumps and flips and nailing targets in the process and all kinds of stuff. But
yeah, I mean, that's crazy to me, because even the thought of just doing those things is like, wow, that's hard. And then you're like, no, and I'm a really good shot. Like,
right.
What? Like, why did you even practice that in the first place? Who thought of that?
Absolutely.
Super weird. Okay, so that is obviously released. It's out now. You can watch it on Nerf's YouTube channel.
Yep.
So I encourage you guys, if you are a fan of Nerf or Dude Perfect or the like, that's definitely something you will enjoy. So make sure you check that out. But you also you're an Emmy winner. Kind of a big deal.
A couple of them, I guess.
A couple of them.
They're Heartland Emmys, so it's a regional Emmy.
An Emmy is an Emmy. I don't care if it's regional or otherwise.
Right.
How many people can say that?
Absolutely.
So one's for a Doritos commercial. So tell me about the Doritos commercial.
It was a Thunder commercial.
Oh.
So it's a commercial we produced for OKC Thunder.
Okay.
And then the other one was a documentary. And on this show, actually, great to chat about a little bit, but it was a world-renowned violinist playing How Great Thou Art on 7 different broken violins. And it's a great story. He has a great message. And then I produced it. It was my idea to kind of film them all separately in this broken warehouse and then put it all together and piece it all together like it's like one cohesive music piece.
Wow.
And that's kind of his story, that in our brokenness, we all have value and is what makes us unique.
Absolutely. So that is titled what?
Broken Beyond Repair. It's a documentary short.
It's a documentary short. And that is available to watch where?
On YouTube.
Okay, perfect. And we'll tell you guys where to find all of that stuff at the end of the show, but just so you know. But yeah, so when did you shoot that docu short?
Oh, wow. 7 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So, he started out strong. He's still strong. So you've worked with DreamWorks, you've worked with Nickelodeon, Mattel, Lego. You told us about Hasbro, National Geographic. What is your favorite project to date that you've done that wasn't your own concept?
Yeah. So I was gonna say that was our own concept, but favorite project to date. We've got the past. Our story, real quickly, is we kind of did the whole thing backwards. We made a teen superhero film first, right after that short, and then that was kind of our calling card, and sold to Gravitas Ventures, and really got out there. And then we got hit up by a bunch of brands and really starting to get to work with them and tell their stories. And so we've been really fortunate to tell stories for a lot of these major brands. Yeah. I really don't know. There's so many. The Trolls project was really fun. Ian kind of pulling this up. We got,
Yep.
But it's a live action mixed with stop motion series. And my daughter was in love with Trolls at the time. And so really it was a really fun project. It took 10 months. We averaged 4 seconds a day of stop motion in our studio. So of really going from concept with DreamWorks to storyboard to filming and doing that whole process and sharing with my daughter each night, some of the dailies of stuff, even like 4 seconds of stop motion we did that day, and sharing with her and getting her input and like creating that project. I'm like tearing up a little bit talking about it. It was so fun to do that and see the joy, in her, and really like went, morphed into me.
Yeah, no, it's personal. It's not just a project, it's personal.
And that passion, whatever you do as a creative, like that passion shows in the final product for sure.
It absolutely does. Yeah. So stop motion is kind of something that you're known for. You guys do it well. You guys, I believe, if I remember correctly, you actually worked with Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah. So they asked us. Yeah, I was in the middle of that Nerf show, and they asked us, one of the kids' wishes, a 12-year-old named Booker, his wish was to do a stop motion with our team. And so I then connected with a bunch of brands that we'd worked with, and several of them were all about it. Marvel was about it. DC was about it, a bunch of them. And so he actually got to choose which one he wanted to do. And so
which is saying something. Like, that's a huge deal.
Right. And so
what do you want to do? Choose anything. Sky's the limit. Like, exactly. How cool.
And so he chose DC and Warner Brothers. And so we did a Batman in DC stop motion that we wrote with him. And then he came with us on several days on set, doing some of the stop motion with us and some of the shots and stuff. So it was super fun.
That's fantastic. And what's cool about it, because I've watched it, what's cool is like you see him in the product. Like, he's in the video as well.
Right.
Which is just fantastic. It just pulls on your heartstrings all the more. It's
very cool. It was super fun. I mean, obviously we had to do that. Like, when they called us and were like, hey, this is this kid's dream to do this, I can't say no.
No, you're like, cool. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you know what? We've talked about all the things you do. Let's show some people a little bit about how fantastic you are. So you brought a trailer for us. So let's take a look. Okay, spoiler for people who don't know. That's your daughter at the very end, wasn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so stinking cute. Okay, so in case you're not already aware, clearly he's exceptionally talented. But not only does he make great things, like he gets invited sometimes to go to cool places, like the San Diego Comic-Con. You had 6 films screened there.
Yep.
That's huge. So not only did you have 6 film screen, you actually held a panel there as well. Was that your first time ever going? Like, how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so our first feature film is called The Post-Human Project. It's on Amazon Prime and most digital platforms. But that was our first time going, and we had no idea what we were in for. If anyone's ever been to Comic-Con, it's 300,000 nerds in a in a 2 mile radius, right? In a 2 or 3 mile radius, and it takes over all of downtown San Diego, and it's super fun. And then we really started to learn the process throughout it, and then getting invited to GQ parties and stuff like that. But
Nice. Well, and you also were, and I'm going to say it wrong, so forgive me. You were also one of the very few speakers of the Okinawa Comic Con. Did I say that? Did I butcher that completely? Probably.
Oh, Okinawa.
Thank you. I'm going to pretend that's what I said. It's not.
Megan's great at geography.
And you were like on the cover of things, so everyone was like, "Ooh, Kyle Roberts, he's famous," and you like signed autograph for days on end and couldn't feel your hand after.
Right. Yeah. So Okinawa. So for nerds out there,
you're like decoding my horrific pronunciation. Go ahead.
Where they go in Karate Kid 2 is Okinawa, right? Japan, where Mr. Miyagi's from.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, we were invited to screen Post-Human Project there, and there was a DC Comics writer and a Marvel Comics artist. And then I was there as a filmmaker, and no one knew who I was. And we had this little indie film, but that was on the cover of their brochure. So everyone was coming around to our booth, and
which is fantastic. Like, all right, cool. I mean, that's great. That's what you go to these things for, to bring attention to your projects, right? Like that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. But these are all things you've done. You actually are working on something right now, and you have some pretty exciting opportunities for your new project, What Rhymes with Reason.
We are. And so if you could tell from the reel, our voice, what we call it, is radically family friendly. So it's all kinds of things, but it's fun and wild and radical, right?
Yeah.
So this next film we're working on, something I'm really passionate about, is called What Rhymes with Reason. And it's a faith-based, maybe even faith-adjacent teen adventure drama. So coming of age story. If you want to put it in a box, if you kind of meshed Goonies and Footloose and they had a baby, it might look something like this film set in a modern day high school world. And it's something we're really excited about. The need for it, of course, is teen adolescent anxiety, depression, and suicide that unfortunately is all too common in our world right now, as teenagers are just trying to figure out where they fit in this world. And a lot of things we really dive into in the film is timeless, but it's magnified to a whole other level that even experts, I don't think they could really know, exactly how far this has really come. And so we really dive into these things, but through this adventure lens.
Right. Which is the best way to do it, because it's a little disarming, as opposed to just like, and then you're like, or feel like you got punched in the heart.
Yep, exactly.
So, no. So, okay. Tell me about What Rhymes with Reason and what happened as far as like, how did this project come together? Why is this your next project? And how can people get involved in it?
Yeah, this project's actually been on my heart since I was in college. It's somewhat, we've not like advertised this heavily, but somewhat inspired by the Book of Job, but set in modern day high school world. And it's something that's kind of been on my heart, that every time I've been in a sermon that talks about Job, I feel like God was always like, hey, we're going to do something with that someday, and you need to be ready. And so we've actually been developing this film for 4 years. And now are finally, we've raised $800,000, and we're greenlit to produce the film, and we're going to start production in this September. But now trying to raise $200,000, so we actually have some P&A marketing budget for it, so it could truly get to teenagers and families that need to see this film. And as you know, as an actress and filmmaker, like how big that and important that is, instead of just having a movie, to actually get it out there.
For sure. I mean, what's the point of having a movie nobody will watch?
Exactly.
Make sure people will be able to access it.
Exactly. And so we have two opportunities. One is more for individuals, and the other one is for businesses. The one that's for individuals is a donation opportunity of $500 or more to be an extra in our 80s themed prom scene.
Nice.
Which is super fun. It's very similar to what Chosen did the last couple of years with their Sermon on the Mount and their Feeding the 5,000 scene. I think theirs was $1,000 minimum, and ours is $500. just to make that a little bit more affordable.
Yeah.
And we need to pack this prom. So all the way around, you're supporting, healthier content that connects with teenagers, and can get, your teenager or family or friend in this film, or you can sponsor it for someone else to go. We've had several people do that as well.
That's super cool. That's really cool. Well, and what about that is we need teenagers to have movies that serve them in their voice.
Yep.
And so this is necessary, but then now it's like, no, I'm personally connected to it because I got to be a part of it. Like that's just even
exactly
on a whole nother level.
Absolutely. And obviously that's our team's voice. And like why we're so connected to this is even growing up, like when we were kids, I didn't feel like there was anything that spoke to me as a teenager, especially in any kind of faith space. Footloose might be the closest. And I would consider Footloose actually a faith adjacent movie.
Yeah. I say that's fair.
Faith, throughout Kevin Bacon's quote in 2 Timothy to get them their prom, kind of thing. But it doesn't really force you to think one way. Right. It's more about asking questions. And by the way, that's what rhymes with reason is. It's not a question for an answer. It's not season or treason or something. It's a question. It's another way to say what's our rhyme and reason that we're on this earth. It's the story of identity.
Start thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, of course, so vital to everybody, but especially teenagers.
And that's where it starts. It goes like, even if you're a kid who goes to church your whole life, there is that point in your life where it goes from being what you do to being your personal relationship. And unless you go through that season, you end up an adult who's like, nah, it's cool. I grew up going to church. And it's like, okay, but is it personal? Like, do you have a relationship, or is it just something? So that specifically kind of stoking those questions and that thought process in that teenage years where it's so vital.
Yep.
That's really important.
Yep. Absolutely. And we were kind of exploring those two things, identity and purpose. That's those two things we hear most from our target demographic. Yeah. And just to do this in a way that's entertaining for them, but also radically family friendly, is entertaining them, but also fun, for their parents and to watch together.
For sure. Yeah.
One of the reasons why we have an 80s themed prom scene. So when the parents are watching, they're like, you see her hair, or, whatever. Like,
yeah, your audience. Like, it serves the teenagers, but you got to get the parents to want to sit down and watch it too, for sure.
Absolutely.
Reminiscent.
Absolutely. Okay, the second opportunity, if we can talk about that real quick. So that's more for businesses. It's a scene sponsorship opportunity where they could actually sponsor a scene of the film, and it ranges from $5,000 to $20,000. And we have that on our website, the different tiers and what that means and what that looks like.
Awesome. I love that. Okay, so personally or business wise, you have an opportunity to be involved in creating a movie that will speak to this next generation and hopefully help them to ask those questions. It's good. It's important. I like it. I like it a lot. Tell me your website.
Our website is kingdommediaclub.org. It's our nonprofit.
Perfect. So now you have no excuse not to go and check it out. At least go see some things. I love it. All right. Well, we have to also talk about then not just this movie and what, like, Kyle, if you could create any content, no budget restriction, with this radically family friend, like, what is that movie? What does that look like for you?
I think we know.
I give you $100,000 million, which is a made up number, and you can make any project you want. What are you making?
I think we know it. It's actually the fourth on our slate, and I can't talk a whole lot about it. But basically, if you combine all these things that I love together, it's superheroes and faith and sci-fi and all those things together that really actually need that budget too, to do it at a high level. That's what it would be. Okay.
I like this. I like this a lot. So Lord willing, that'll be in the future, because I agree. I think that's stuff that we do need. We need to have content that glorifies the Lord, is God honoring content that has values that people want to watch because it's done with excellence. So I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot. I like it. Okay. So we are going to take a break from the interview things, and we're going to play a game, shall we?
Let's do it.
Time to put your thinking hats on. It's game time with Maggie. No cheating now. Maggie Rambles is not responsible for any brain damage while overthinking.
Okay, so today's game, we're playing a classic, guys. I felt like it was a little necessary to go a little bit back towards high school. considering. So we are going to play a game of 2 truths and a lie. For those of you who don't know, you live under a rock or you were just kind of boring in high school. He and I will both share three bits of information. 2 of them will be true. 1 of them will be a lie. And so we get to figure out what that is and learn something and maybe embarrass each other just a bit. So, all right, would you like to go first? Share first, or would you like to guess first?
I'll share first if that works.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay, I have a Ninja Turtle tattoo.
Okay.
I was on a reality show, and I have been arrested.
Okay, if that last one's true, I want to hear the story. I would say you probably do have a Ninja Turtle tattoo because I feel like there's been a lot of Ninja Turtle things for you. Yeah. So I think that's true. And I'm going to hope you've been arrested because I want to hear the story, but you've not been on a reality TV show. Is that accurate?
Incorrect.
Dang it.
So one of the first things I did after going viral on YouTube and stuff is I was on a sci-fi show called Viral Video Showdown. And I was actually pinned up against another stop motion animator and formed a team.
Well, dang it. You haven't been arrested?
I have been arrested.
Okay, I want to know. I want to know that story.
It was stupid.
I clearly am super mature.
Yeah, we built a potato gun like you do in Missouri.
Right.
And we were shooting around different places and ended up hitting a car window and busting it. Okay. And so the cops were called on us and we were all arrested. And that's basically that story. Stupid stuff you do in high school, which actually at some point I would love to talk to you someday. Our next series is kind of inspired by that, but is a whole series called Involunteers. Where kids are doing, because I had to do 400 hours of community service after that.
You're like, this is great. I'm going to use this later.
Absolutely. And it was a big part of what transformed my faith and getting connected to a church and doing community service with them and everything. But
see, guys, if you just build a potato gun, you could change your life.
That's awesome. Just start firing away and God will still use that.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. That's fantastic.
Okay, you ready?
All right. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, mine's not as nefarious as yours. My middle name is Asiana. I have an identical twin sister, and I played basketball in high school.
I think it's the twin sister.
Do you think that's a lie?
Yeah.
You would be incorrect.
Oh, I don't know you very well.
Yes, I do in fact have an identical twin sister. I am 45 seconds older than her, and I lord it over her all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's a fact. I'm also, my maiden name is Olsen, so we were the original Olsen twins. The other ones copied us.
So is it the first one?
Yeah. That's actually my niece's name, who just graduated this past week.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I played basketball in high school barely, just for my freshman year.
Yeah.
Because then they were like, no, you need to bleed. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm not bleeding. Like,
you need to dive all around all the time.
Right. Like, I'm sorry. You're crazy. So yeah, I'm out. But anyway, so I didn't build a potato gun. I did not get arrested. Did not have to serve 400 hours of community service. But that's all right. God still used me. I made plenty of stupid decisions.
We both lost.
We both lost. And you know what? That's not uncommon.
There's no losers. There's just non-winners in this group.
Sure. Sure. Let's say that.
That's something we always used to say at Young Life.
I don't like it. I'm too competitive.
Just non-winners.
I'm like,
it's the same in soccer as having a tie, right?
Oh, it's the worst. Ties are stupid. All right. So welcome. No, not welcome. Thank you so much, Kyle, for joining me. Guys, please check him out on social media at Go Reckless. And you can check out the guys, I forgot what it was. Go back and rewatch it. I can't remember. But you can definitely find him on social media at Go Reckless. And you can check out all of the opportunities for What Rhymes with Reason and get plugged in and find a way to participate and then tell lots of people to go watch the movie when it is out. Until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in and love one another. Make it weird.